As black men, we're subject to a whole lot of stereotypes and racism. To keep it a buck, we're usually first seen in a light that doesn't reflect who you might really be. And while this is no fault of yours, it's up to you to prove people wrong on any unworthy assumption they may have about you. It's up to you to change the narrative. While many of us wish to do this, we're simply unaware of how to go about it because we're too mixed in with the noise that surrounds us. Well, if you're watching this video, then I got some good news for you, my guy. Here are 4 urgent warnings to all black men who want to change their lives for the better in 2024. Number 1. Hustle in silence. If you're watching this channel and a part of BHC, I know you're a hustler, so it's only a matter of time before you come up. That's a fact, but I want you to be smart when you do. You see, a rich black man and a rich white man live 2 completely different lives. Therefore, once you start touching a different kind of bag, there's certain spots you can't be, certain people you can't run with no more, and certain moves that can get you locked up or subbed out the game early. You gotta play chess, not checkers, and a big key to that is moving in silence. I have no desire to be seen this year, just pay, is exactly how I'm feeling this year. We live in an era where everyone is quick to show off everything on social media and barely anyone hustles in silence anymore, especially our culture. Once we start touching some paper, we upgrade our lifestyles. We gotta have all the designer, foreign whips, iced out jewelry, etc. But whole time, those are just traps to keep us broke and make us a target. Too many of you can't move in silence because you want applauses from people you shouldn't give a about. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram for daily motivation. But listen, fam, hustle in silence and let the work do the talking. Not only does this allow you to stay focused, but it also limits the amount of negativity and bringing unwanted attention to yourself. Let's take a look at the story of YouTuber Ami and the Hellcat, a stand-up guy, but he had to learn the hard way by moving in silence. He started his YouTube journey in 2019, posting videos of his life. He showed the nightclubs he owned, the houses, and the luxury vehicle that lined his driveway. He found a glitch in the matrix for real. His viewership grew as people were drawn to the kind of luxury that he enjoyed. With the growth of his channel came the curiosity to know exactly what he did for a living to make the wealth that he displayed. He always responded by being very vague. He always said that he started out as an app developer, but added nothing else to justify how he made so much money. Ami and the Hellcat's videos not only attracted just curious and fascinated viewers, they also attracted the eyes of the FBI, which began to carry out investigations on him. In December 2019, the FBI finally raided his home and seized from him things that ranged from a bank balance of over $5 million to a large fleet of cars containing some of the latest Lambos and a total of 21 houses, including rented flats and mansions. Ami immediately went live on his channel to tell his fans that the FBI seized basically everything he owned, taking with them television sets and every SD card he had. Ami believed he was being targeted by the FBI only on the possible counts of tax evasion, and he maintained his innocence. He also claimed that his business was legit and that he had only taken advantage of a gray area in the provisions of the US copyright law. However, the feds had more on him than he could imagine. After his encounter with the feds, he became public with how he exactly made his wealth. Ami and the Hellcat had been operating the large-scale internet protocol television, IPTV, where he and his guys acquired cable TV accounts and then resold the stolen copyrighted content to their own thousands of customers who then streamed that content. This piracy scheme run by Ami started on Kodi, a video player available on any device where people watch videos, podcasts, movies, music, etc. But since it doesn't make its own content, it's mostly known as an app mostly used by people who watch stolen content. Ami was introduced into this business of piracy in 2016 and saw a huge potential in it. He would buy Amazon Fire Sticks for about $40, install the best pirated content on them, and resell them for about $150, therefore giving people access to cable TV for a one-time fee. The workings of this scheme were exposed by Ami himself on his channel. He claimed that he made $1 million in 2016 and had continued to make tens of millions of dollars since then. Ami had expanded his business and even launched an app of his own called Gears TV. This grew his wealth even more. He made over $30 million in subscriber fees and then sold the app for $40 million in 2018. Ami's downfall remains the fact that he had flaunted his wealth on YouTube for millions of people to see. This led the feds to easily track him down and take everything he owned. Ami soon dedicated his YouTube channel to videos of him trying to rebuild his life while the feds were still watching it. The FBI soon came back for him, and things got really bad in 2021 when he was indicted on charges of criminal copyright infringement, wire fraud, and money laundering. After fighting the charges for so long, Ami was sentenced to prison for 66 months in 2023, while also having to pay restitution to the cable networks and the IRS. Sad case in which many feel he should still be free, but imagine if he would have just laid low and stacked his money quietly. Things may have went completely different for him in his life. Number 2, starve your distractions, feed your focus. Deep down, you know exactly what you're capable of. There's been moments where you get a glimpse of all the potential you have. You can and will get there. You just have to be willing to sacrifice the habits, things, people, and situations that are standing in the way of your success. It's no doubt that we live in a world that's filled with many distractions. We got social media, video games, women, sports, etc. While some of these distractions are pleasurable to engage in, they're very dangerous to any man who seeks to make something greater themselves. For black men, this lesson is even more important. As a black man chasing his purpose, you have the duty placed on you to remain focused to keep your distractions away. You have to starve them and feed your focus.
For me, was the most important thing. So everything I saw, whether it was TV shows, whether it was books I read, people I talked to, everything was done to try to learn how to become a better basketball player. Everything. And so when you have that point of view, then literally the world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
The simple answer to anyone asking how I can do this is one word: discipline. This is what makes the difference between a man who makes it out of a tough situation and one who stays stuck in it. It takes discipline and consistency in today's world to zone out the many distractions that you can find everywhere around you.
When you can't stay motivated, stay consistent. All right? Consistency gonna bring back your motivation, no matter what it is. You're basketball players, rappers, sanitation people, whatever it is, you dig? That consistency, staying on point, staying disciplined, staying focused, no matter on them days that's hard, they're gonna make the days that you are motivated that much greater.
A disciplined man knows what he wants and cuts out anything that isn't aligned with his mission. He's not easily derailed by the simple pleasures of life that an undisciplined man pursues. He dedicates himself to his personal and professional development. He builds strong relationships that will keep him focused and accountable, and not those that will let him lose his way. Women, alcohol, drugs, and social acceptance are fickle things that leave as fast as they come, and they can leave you damaged and broken and forever lost without ever finding yourself. This should be the greatest nightmare of any black man, because when you look around you, all you see are people like that. You should take a look at yourself and determine that you want something different. You want something outside of the norm, then put in the work to get there. Number 3, learn emotional intelligence. When speaking about discipline, staying focused, and hustling in silence, there is one major characteristic behind our ability to do those things: emotional intelligence. A man who has a goal and seeks to make a change and develop himself, first of all, needs to have the mental and cognitive intelligence to think through and make plans. However, the ability to stick to those plans and remain undeterred, even in the face of troubles and extreme challenges, is all down to our emotional intelligence. It's basically the ability to understand, use, and manage your emotions and that of others appropriately. It involves being self-aware, being motivated, being empathetic, and having the right social skills to properly display that emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very important in our lives as black men, because then we'll be able to handle our deepest feelings and emotions without lashing out at the people around us, without resorting to violent behaviors to express our displeasures and problems. This is key, because a lot of us simply express our emotions very poorly because we haven't mastered our emotional intelligence. A man with heightened emotional intelligence internalizes things first and foremost before speaking or giving a reaction. He considers the possible outcomes of his reaction to a certain situation. He puts his own well-being and those of the people he cares about at the forefront, and so he refuses to engage in self-sabotaging behaviors or react in a manner that would worsen any situation he finds himself in. The importance of emotional intelligence can't be stressed enough if we are also in a relationship, married, or have children. This means we can hash out our issues by talking them out with our partners without resorting to becoming abusive either mentally or physically. Ultimately, when we have kids who watch us act with elite emotional intelligence, they learn from us, emulate us, and take the same mindset into society. We are therefore contributing to the betterment of our society that way. It can be said that the more emotionally intelligent black men who act as models to kids and families and neighborhoods, the better for us all. There are simply no downsides to it. On the other hand, being emotionally unintelligent comes with all kinds of terrible outcomes for society and individuals. Take, for instance, this young man who has trial before a judge. In the court's live video, he can be seen speaking for himself before a female judge about his conduct before he suddenly hops over the stand and dives toward the judge to attack her right before a full courtroom. He's finally restrained by court officials and security men. The situation is crazy, not gonna lie. I never seen nothing like that in my life, but it's a perfect example of letting your emotions get the best of you. This young man was probably overwhelmed by the reality of the possible sentencing he was about to receive. Regardless, his reaction in that situation only did more to damage not only his image, but that of other black men. He has now, in fact, been slapped with an attempted murder charge for that one foolish act. Truly shows that the lack of emotional intelligence will put you in an even more difficult situation than you previously were. It is, therefore, very essential for every black man to intentionally develop their emotional intelligence and apply it accordingly in every sphere of life. Number 4, understand nobody is coming to save you. This is something you should tell yourself every time you wake up. This is what you have to remind yourself at every chance you get. Nobody's coming to save you.
You start to get, I call it like the rucksack. A rucksack is a pack that you carry in the military and you put all your stuff in it. Your radios, your food, your water, all that stuff you have to carry in the military. That's your rucksack. It's a backpack pretty much. As you're growing up, we all have a backpack. Most of ours, hopefully, is empty, and what we put in it is all the crap we go through in life. That's what is in the backpack for the civilians, and we carry it around with us. So what you have to start doing is realizing that no matter where you're at in life, no one's coming back to help me. So it starts with that person in that mirror. You have to realize you are on your own now.
As a black man, you simply cannot expect a knight in shining armor to come in and sweep you off your feet and save you from a life you despise. Leave that fantasy to those who have the luxury to engage in it. For you, it's better to spend that time working hard to save yourself. The world is a tough and cruel place, no doubt about that. And so, you have to toughen up and fight your battles till you come out victorious. The system we live in places a heavy burden on us all, and even more when you're a black man. The reality might sound scary to a lot of people, and you might feel that you're not up to the task. But the truth is that if you stand still and expect somebody else to hold your hand, then you'll be left behind. This is not to say you shouldn't have friends and form relationships that can make your life easier, nor is it to say that you should refuse help. The simple fact is that you live your life and work on yourself like you have no help coming, expect nothing from no one, and kill whatever sense of entitlement you might have. The moment you do this, you'll become less bothered by disappointments from other people, and you'll charge it to the game and continue chasing your purpose. It's important to remember that only you and you alone can see and understand your dreams and goals. Others might have a small understanding of them and try to help you out, but it's left to you to achieve them to the best of your abilities. Remember that no one will go out of their way to help you when you're down bad. When you stumble, don't look around expecting someone else to help you back up. Simply get back on your feet and get things done, because in the end, it'll all be worth it.